Welcome to the Good Games Podcast, episode 149. This is the show where we talk about video games and gamer-related things. My name is Frank from Palmanso, and I'm your host. And as always, I'm joined by the co-host of the show. First, we have Alex Nunez. What's up, sir?
Hello. Not much. I'm here again, and I was very much hoping that I would be gold rank in Street Fighter V, but it has not happened yet.
I'm getting closer.
I'm getting closer.
Cool. Are you Ultra Silver?
I'm bouncing between Ultra Silver and Super Silver at the moment.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good job. I got to get back into that game. There's too much.
Yeah, man, it's tough.
These other games, these other games are just taking up my life. But
so many,
cool, man.
Being pulled in so many different directions. It's like, man, when am I gonna have the time?
I don't know, but that's good, man. I hope you get to gold. But all right, and we also have Khalik Dorset. What's up, man?
I'm good. I'm in a bit of a bad go. A bit of a bad go, as you say. And my mood has been affected by one of the game I've been playing this week. Because, hey, look, certain times you experience media in a certain way. And because of that, I come into this podcast not with my usual craziness or my usual stories, but a certain dread that hangs over me, and I'll explain later.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it possibly because you don't want this game to end?
It's because this game leaves me with raised eyebrows every time someone speaks, and I'm constantly uncomfortable. That's why.
I can vouch for that. That is pretty accurate most of the time with some of the things that they're trying to just come across with this game. God,
what are you guys talking about? What game are you talking about?
No, I won't say it. But all I'll say is I was literally at work. Having a pretty good day, saw one thing about said game, and went, damn it. I'm thinking of all that shit I saw. Well, my day's gone now. Day's gone. And I come to that with that same level of energy. And I'm going to try to pick it up.
And it ruined your day.
Ruined is debatable. Darkened is definitely true.
Wow. All right. Well, I hope to hear more about that later.
Frank, how you doing, man?
I'm okay. Okay.
Okay.
Status quo. Just playing the same two games. God damn it.
It's fine.
You guys, I have a problem. Like I have a serious problem. Like,
sounds like you have multiple problems.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Yeah,
not good.
You have one fix, and then you have the other fix, and now you're trying to balance them out with each other, and you don't know what to do with yourself.
I can't do that.
Did you get Rock Band 3 yet?
Did I? No, not yet.
Okay.
I had to literally walk over to the store. But the thing is, if I do get it, that means that's just more time I'm going to devote to Rock Band. But I need to devote more time to Persona.
You know, Rock Band 3 has the keyboards too, right?
I don't care.
No, you do. You do. But Alex, stop doing this to him. This is like my problem that I talked about last week. But just on a different level. Because anytime just that new piece of media comes out, that new music video game, he'll be like, he needs that fix, that nice taste.
Yeah.
Nice taste.
You guys, this is a pretty serious issue because I have not played like a new game Persona came out when? The beginning of April.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I haven't played a new game in a month.
Okay.
Like this is like what?
It happens.
Here's how you break Frank. You create another Persona game, but except it's like Dancing All Night, but it's just music.
Yeah, if they came out.
I mean, that's kind of Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Like it's all about music and people being pop stars.
Why did
shit.
you say that? I knew that.
You said it. I'm just saying that it exists.
I was talking about you use the musical instruments. You're not a musician, but now you're going to break Frank. Now you broke him. He's going to be broken.
So I was actually thinking more along the lines if they made another Persona 4 Arena or Persona 5 Arena with the Persona 5 characters, then my brain would literally explode inside my head. I would have an aneurysm.
Okay.
And then I would truly be broken because I'm like, not only do you bring out Persona 5, but you also are going to bring out the fighting game. Now, I know this is not something we're going to talk about today.
Right.
But in the news, just kind of making a quick jump in the news, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Atlas has reserved certain website names, and two of the names allude to a Persona 5 Dancing All Night game.
Yes.
Okay.
And a Persona 5 arena sort of fighting game.
Cool.
when I saw that, I internally freaked out.
Yeah.
Because it could be nothing. But it could be something. And because of that, I'm just kind of like wringing my hands and just hoping that it's true, but I don't understand what is happening in 2017. Like, why are they doing this to me?
okay, Frank. I need to ask this because I know you played Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4. I know you didn't beat Persona 4.
Yeah, I'm at the end of Persona 4. I've played Persona 4 Arena extensively.
So where you were at Persona 4, did it affect when you played Persona 4 Arena? Obviously, there are characters in there that are spoilers if you haven't gotten past certain points in the game. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yes.
Right? If things that happen in there, I know the game takes place 2 years after the plot, more or less.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, did you know everyone that you could play with? Like, were you aware of the characters?
No, I had no idea. So, Persona 4 Arena is the reason why I even knew about Persona games.
Oh, okay. That makes
my
sense.
Introduction to Persona. So,
okay.
I had never played a Persona game. I knew they existed, but I had never shown any interest in any of them.
Oh, okay.
Until I played Persona 4 Arena. And the only reason I picked up Persona 4 Arena was because it was an Arc Systems Works game. And after Blaze Blue, I was like, I need a fix. Guilty Gear, they haven't come out with a new Guilty Gear in forever at this point. I need a fix. Like, let me just give this game a shot. Whatever. It might be just another shitty anime fighting game. But that was not the case with this game.
Okay.
So I was just like, and through the fighting game, I was just like, these characters are so awesome. And like, they're so like varied and they're like, they have their own style. And I'm like, what is this music? Like, where's this music coming from? And so I'm like, there's a series that inspired this game. So that's when I was just like, all right, let me try to dip my toes into Persona, like the official game. So I actually started out with Persona Q, Shadows of the Labyrinth for the 3DS.
Yeah.
And I was immediately drawn in, even though it was kind of like, an excuse to put the Persona 3 and Persona 4 characters together.
Yeah.
In an RPG, in a dungeon crawler game.
Yeah.
With its own, with the whole Shin Megami Tensei dungeon crawling aspect, first person dungeon crawling or whatever. That game alone was enough to say, I should go back and play the rest of this series. And so that's the reason why I got a Vita for Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah.
And I also have Persona 3 on deck ready once I beat Persona 4. And then Persona 5, they're like, oh, by the way, Persona 5's coming out sometime in the next few years. I'm like, God. So, yeah, it was because of Persona 4 Arena. So, anyway, to go back, yes, some of the characters were spoiler-y, but not to the extent that you think. So, because the first Persona 4 Arena had like just the main characters for Persona 3 and 4.
Right.
Whereas Persona 4 Arena Ultimax had some characters that were like, all right, these characters are a little bit more in depth and, they kind of give away a lot of the story with Persona 3 and 4 with some of these characters.
Yeah. The only reason I ask this is because, where Persona 4 is like a weird scenario where that game, a remake came out and it kind of revived the franchise, interest in the franchise in a weird way. And then we get these 2 spin-off games. Well, 3 technically. So I guess my point was I feel like if these games come out, I mean, if they should come out, they probably might come out fast. I don't think they will. This game might not come out for like 2-3 years. Yeah,
because I mean, between Persona 4 and Persona 4 Arena, it was like what, 6 years?
Yeah.
Well, it took a while for the Persona 4 train to get rolling, but now that like it's pretty much full steam ahead, I'm sure that stuff will come out a lot faster now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, also, Atlas, their Shin Megami Tensei stuff is a bit odd. Like the two main franchises don't come out that often.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, there's only a handful of entries in each of the main franchises. And if we can get a spinoffs, we'll be here all day. That's not exactly what I'm saying. Like, hopefully they come out soon. You would think things are different now, but hey.
Well, all I know is that Atlas reserved those website names.
Yeah.
And God damn it, if they did that for a reason, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm literally going to, for the entirety of 2017, it's going to be about music, games, and Persona. And that's it.
I'm worried, Frank.
Me too.
I'm worried. I've been in those. I think we've all had one of those times in our lives where we're like, we can't break this.
Why are we worried? This sounds like Frank is going to go on a wonderful spiritual adventure of discovery.
No, I feel like I'm going to go crazy. Like this is not good.
No,
like,
but don't you know that's how nirvana happens? You get yourself to a state of complete stress, and once it breaks off, then you're pure.
I don't know.
You're awakened.
As long as this leads to you playing the greatest music game ever made, which is Guitar Man, of course, then
Guitar
I'd be happy.
Man. Yo, I played Guitar Man. Guitar Man was fun.
Always wanted to play that.
Guitar Man is so good. Oh my god, the music is godlike.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I didn't pay a lot of attention to the music back then when I played it, but I intend to. It's out for the it's for the Vita, right? It's out for the Vita, correct?
Well, originally for PS2, and then they re-released it on PSP, not the Vita.
Okay, so I can still just get it for the Vita then.
Yeah, like to this day, I'll still listen to songs from that soundtrack and just get goosebumps because like it just hits me on an emotional level. It's insane.
Guitar Man, yeah,
Guitar Man.
Man, I feel bad that I've always missed out on the rhythm game, like fads just a Rush. I like rhythm games. I've just never owned one. It's just the strangest thing.
I actually imported at one point Dance Dance Revolution, like the third one, third mix. Like that game was like my first rhythm game that I ever played, and I'm like, whoa, this game is awesome. But I played with the controller, not with like the dancing pad. So like, all the up downs and triangle, whatever was like corresponding. Yeah. So that was actually like it was like a really good introduction for me with like the coordination of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my friends were hooked on that game, and this was way before Guitar Hero and Rock Band even surfaced. But yeah, Dance Dance Revolution was started it all for me, man.
Oh, I actually got to clarify. I actually did. I played Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm, which I don't think is that good of a rhythm game. I don't think it's that good of a game, but that was okay.
Yeah, they were saying those games are basically they're good only if you just appreciate Final Fantasy music. And
yeah,
that's
like
much it.
Systems around it, just from what I've seen of like Elite Beat Agents. I mean, it's hard. You shouldn't really compare it to certain things, but it's not really what you would think it should be. It's trying to do too many things, and that's the whole thing. I don't know if I talked about it on the show before, but yeah, that game is definitely special.
Nice. Well,
yeah,
that's what we could be here all day about this game.
Yeah, I know,
but we got a show to do.
Let's do it.
What is happening?
I don't know.
What is happening?
I feel like I just gotta say this real quick. I really feel like these episodes last couple weeks, like our psyches are starting to change for some strange reason. Like we're getting a lot more emotional, sharing more information. One of us always goes crazy in one episode.
Maybe it's just a natural evolution of things.
It's possible.
Maybe after doing the show for so long, maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it's time for, like us to kind of just really get deep and understand like why, like the question is why, like why do we do this? Why do we play games so goddamn much? And why do some of us focus more on certain games than others? And it's just like these questions, man. It's deep, man.
And when that happens, just like a comic book, we'll reboot, act like none of that shit ever happened, and start from the beginning.
I'm all about continuity, man, because that's bullshit. but all right. So
yeah, let's do it.
Let's get started with what we've been playing. And Alex is gonna go first. So what you got for us?
Hey guys, you guys like loot boxes?
Yeah.
Sure.
They're cool.
I like loot boxes. I've been playing loot boxes pretty much.
Oh shit!
All like in the Blizzard app, which I sadly cannot like correctly call Battle.net client anymore because changed the name. It's Blizzard, whatever. Anyway, Blizzard's been doing a whole bunch of stuff lately, most notably with Heroes of the Storm, because they just launched the 2.0 version of Heroes of the Storm, which is Blizzard's MOBA, if you forgot what that was. And they basically introduced loot boxes into that game, very much like Overwatch and a bunch of other games. So they kicked off last week a kind of like event. So every week, starting last week, they have this thing where you want to friend up with people and play matches of Heroes of the Storm. And if you complete like 5 matches with a friend, then they will give you free stuff. So the first week they were giving the Oni Genji skin, which was a promotion they ran a while back for Heroes of the Storm. So people who played Heroes of the Storm got an Overwatch skin that you could use in Overwatch. And it was kind of like a cross-promotional thing. They reintroduced that because, it was limited time only, and I missed out on that. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do this thing. And now this week they're doing, I think what you get if you play this week is you get the Diva skin, which is her basically in a police officer costume, and her mech has like the police lights on top of it. It looks kind of ridiculous, but it's cool. And I kind of want it because, I don't know, it's that thing where they just prey on your weak mental abilities, and you just want the thing because it looks cool and it's only available for a limited time. It's like, you got to do it. You got to play the game. Hey, we got this cool game and it's really cool. You should play it and stuff. But it's fine. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I've been playing Heroes of the Storm. Okay,
Alex, I have to say,
yeah,
this sounds very similar.
Yes,
very similar,
but not quite severe.
No, not as bad as I so eloquently showed last week. But it is similar to not only the issues that I said I've had with mobile games or free-to-play mobile games, but the issues you've had with Overwatch.
Yeah. But I've gotten over my issues because I no longer buy Overwatch loot boxes. I'm not going to do that.
Some people smoke cigarettes and then replace them with marijuana. It's not really helping. I'm not going to say anymore.
I've recovered, man. That's all I can say. I quit cold turkey. That's it. I'm only getting legit loot boxes and stuff. But also as part of this Heroes of the Storm, I forget which week it is. It's either the 3rd or 4th week because this thing is running for 4 weeks. You're going to get both 10 loot boxes in both Heroes of the Storm and in Overwatch. So I was like, all right, cool.
I gotta ask, how are you liking that? I know you were on a mobile kick for a while. And yeah. I mean, just how much you've played this game. How you feeling about it right now?
I still like it. I've always liked the Heroes of the Storm as kind of like at least for me, the way I look at it is like a lower level entry into like proper MOBA genre, like top down, like click with the mouse and keyboard and all that stuff. It's still very good, and it's a very well done version. Like Blizzard put so much care and detail into their games, and it's definitely still the case with Heroes of the Storm. So yeah, I enjoy it. I just don't play it a lot just because there's so many, like we were saying earlier, there's a lot of things like vying for our attention these days. So I haven't had time to dedicate my time to both that and like Paragon, which I was kind of like into as well for a while, but haven't played that in like months. But Heroes of the Storm is very cool. And part of what also drew me back is like as part of this whole 2.0 like relaunch or whatever, they were offering people packs of heroes. So they had like different packs, I think geared more towards like different character types. Like they had like the assassin types and the support types and all that. And then there was one group that was like an all-rounder, like had a little bit of each. But yeah, there's packs of like 20 heroes because Heroes of the Storm is one of those MOBAs where they only have a certain amount of heroes in a free rotation. So like if you don't pay for any of the heroes, you can only play the ones that they allow you to play for free. And then otherwise you'd have to pay either real money or in-game currency to buy the heroes that you want. So with this 2.0 relaunch, they gave you the choice of one of these like 4 packs of heroes. So you can get like a chunk of heroes right off the bat. So that was cool. So I got the Assassin's pack because I find myself playing, I like to play more of like a ranged carry in MOBAs just because it's probably the simplest role and I don't like to be up all close in the action. I like to hang back and escape if I need to. So the Assassins one seemed to be the one for me, so I got that. And it also had the one character that I actually know how to play, which is Vala, and I think she's a Diablo character. But yeah, you're playing Heroes of the Storm, and like Overwatch, you get experience points and you will level up. And I think the characters that you play also level up. I don't know if there's anything else that comes as part of that, or if you level up a character, if you get a loot box or nothing. But if you were to level up, like in Overwatch, you get loot boxes. And I'm going to try and continue to play this event just to get all the cool stuff in Overwatch as well. Because why not? Why not have more cool stuff and stuff to wear in Overwatch?
Okay, can we just say this right now? I know you and I have talked before about setting up some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do a live on a recording. Let's do it within the next couple weeks.
Okay.
And hold me to it. Please hold me to it. I want to get this done because I'm really interested. Okay. Especially, you keep talking about it, I keep going, yeah, I really want to understand this genre a little more. So, yeah. And I will have an update for you, ladies and gentlemen. I promise. As long as Alex holds me to it.
Yeah, I would have held you to it, but again, I myself lost interest in Paragon.
I see. Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of Heroes of the Storm. They also launched a new hero, Genji, also from Overwatch. I don't know, this is a lot of Overwatch stuff going into Heroes of the Storm nowadays, it seems. I don't know if that's because there was also a headline recently that's saying that Blizzard reached 30 million players in Overwatch. I don't know how they're counting that. I don't know if they're all active players, but the fact that they hit 30 million is a crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're trying to cater to that Overwatch audience since they're already playing a fine Blizzard product like Overwatch, and they might as well cross over and check out Heroes of the Storm with all their favorite heroes like Genji and Tracer and Lucio and then the new map, which is Hanamura, which is obviously an Overwatch map.
I wanted to ask you, I mean, I don't know too much about Heroes of the Storm, but I always thought that it was similar to Hearthstone in that it has some connection to World of Warcraft. And at least some of the heroes that appear in it.
Yeah, Heroes of the Storm is kind of like Blizzard's version of Super Smash Brothers, if you will. There are characters from all of the different Blizzard properties.
Okay.
So you got characters from Warcraft, you got characters from the Diablo games, you got characters from Overwatch. They're all just kind of mashed in there together into this one MOBA game.
Okay. No, I just wanted to be clear on that because I never really knew the proper answer to it. I always thought that these Overwatch characters showing up as guest characters into this already created universe, but if you say it like that, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, they're just it's just cross-dimensional. All the Blizzard properties are the StarCraft characters are also in there as well. So it's all representation from all the different Blizzard games and franchises and all that.
Okay.
Whereas Hearthstone is pretty much just in the Warcraft universe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another game that I've also been playing, and I haven't touched Hearthstone in 2 years, but they also had this other thing going on. I don't know. I just saw in the Blizzard client, hey, you play Hearthstone for the first time and whatever, and you get 3 free card packs, and I'm like, okay, free stuff. I'll play the game, and Hearthstone is still good. At least playing against the CPU, which at least when I was playing wasn't really an option. You always had to play against the other people and their decks, and after a certain amount of time, I just got scared of people playing high level meta and me not knowing anything about that and keeping up with that. I was scared I wouldn't have a right deck to compete or whatever. But just playing against the CPU boss characters and the different things that they do, that was an enjoyable experience. I was Hearthstone is fucking still legit. It's great, and Blizzard is just an insane company. They've got insanely talented people there. It's crazy the quality of stuff they're able to churn out on a regular basis. But that's about it. All I can say really about what I've been playing. It's just a bunch of Blizzard games because goddamn, they're on a tear recently. I don't know what the hell is going on there, but they're doing good work.
Yeah, they've always been super consistent and
right.
Awesome. They're pretty much all their games have been phenomenons.
Yeah.
Warcraft, that's the biggest example.
Yeah, StarCraft is one of the first esports games.
Yeah. And Overwatch seems to be right up there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Overwatch League is going to be kicking it up, I think, later this year, and I'm very curious to see how that ramps up.
And damn, can you imagine that, the Overwatch League? Fuck.
Yeah.
I actually, it's funny you guys talk about this. I was talking with a friend about this recently, and I said that Overwatch at least the cast of Overwatch has a chance to be one of the greatest like video game casts of characters ever.
All those characters are so good.
Yeah, just the analogy I used, I said this could be like the Street Fighter 2 of like
this generation.
Of just generation.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like notoriety, because everyone is very, very familiar with the original 8 World Warriors. Like it's pop culture. Like people know who they are.
Yeah.
And the 4 bosses too.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the name mess ups and everything. They know.
I mean, people might not know DJ and T-Hawk. Like, those are later iterations. Yeah. So I get some of that. But if you talk about like that, just on that level, I feel like Overwatch is almost there. Like it's really becoming, in terms of like video games, like everyone knows Overwatch. And I don't even play the game, but I'm very familiar with all the characters.
You're aware of how popular it is.
Yeah.
Just overwhelmingly so.
Yeah, it's kind of everywhere. Like it never stops, and it's like, oh, okay, it's pretty much become that. I think at this point, it will be that of this generation.
Yeah, they just keep doing amazing things, man. Like I said, it like I think when I first played Overwatch, like each one of like any one of those characters could have like a whole game around them.
Yeah. Also, I got to say, I mean, I don't want to keep saying Overwatch too much. That I've done a dive through of the wiki, at least like when it first came out. And I said, how do these characters have so in-depth stories already? It's just a game. Like
it's just this competitive game where like none of the story, like there's no story mode in the game.
No, but they have all these alliances and there's a ton of stuff there that it was just I'm kind of surprised. But
yeah, although with the new update to Overwatch as well, like with the Uprising event and all that stuff, like they're introducing more of the lore in the game. Like when you're going into the hero gallery and like picking out different skins and stuff for your costume, they usually have little blurbs about the character, and even depending on certain skins, like this skin might portray this character in a certain time period, and then it might go a little bit into like what was happening at that time in the Overwatch timeline. But yeah, they're doing a lot of cool stuff.
Okay. No
doubt. Well, thank you, sir. And Khalik, you're up next, man. So what you got for us?
All right. Well, this is a game that Frank talked about before, and I said many times this will be the next game that I will play, and it is Nier Automata. I'm not going to go through a lot of the same things Frank did. I don't think that's necessary. I think the game is phenomenal. I think the game is really interesting. Music, of course, it never stops getting good.
Yeah,
I can listen to those tracks all day.
Yeah,
it's so amazing. But I gotta at least say that this has to be. Frank's laughing because I just like rubbed my head. But this has to be like one of the most thought-provoking games I've ever experienced, because a gamut of emotions pass through me every time I do a mission or a side quest, because I feel, and Frank, you could back me up on this. There are times when you do these missions and there is no right answer to things. Some things are just dark. Some things are just the way they are. And there's a specific side mission I had to do where there is a character who goes missing. And Frank, you might know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
And you have to find out what happens to that character. And so you discover the fate, but you have to go back and tell the person who gave you the quest, and you have a choice. You can lie to them or just tell them the truth. And I told her the truth. She was not happy whatsoever.
Clearly.
And she just disappeared. She just left.
Yep.
There's that stuff. Some of that side quest stuff is amazing. Like honestly, some of them are fetch questy, where you just have to like get certain things and run back, and that I can get. But then like once you understand what's happening, like the actual storyline of it gets so weird. It gets some really interesting places. And where I've gone so far in the game, Frank was always telling me to get to one boss fight. And when you get to this certain boss fight, you'll know what I'm talking about. It happens to be, I guess, the second boss fight in the game. Did I say that?
Yeah. The second major one. Yeah.
For a second major one.
Yeah.
Man, this game is fucked up. This game is weird in a very good way.
Keep going. Finish your thought, because I really want to just talk about like the
we can talk about that
of that battle. Like
man,
that's what like I was just like, how can they do this? Like,
well, I mean, I was just about to jump into it. Like as soon as we got there, and
go ahead.
And like you're fighting this enemy, and it's a fight that it shows you the evolution of a character in real time. It was amazing.
Yo, that's it. That's it right there. How the fuck? Like, who thinks of this shit? This fucking boss evolves in real time, like in your face while you're fighting it. It adapts. It adapts and evolves to your moves.
And not even that, when it becomes a second boss, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yo.
And I gotta say, these bosses are insanely plot relevant.
That's the thing. It's just like, and there's the whole moral dilemma of like, it's not really spoiling anything, but I'm just saying, like, there was the moral dilemma of like, well, it's a machine, but it's very human. Like it resembles a human. It's very humanoid in appearance. Like, what do we do? Like, our job is to kill the machines, but this is a human and we're machines. But like, there's so many things that go through your mind, and then it's like round 1, fight. I'm like, no, wait, what if I don't want to fight this thing?
And I loved, especially during that fight. Like you can see it going from level 1, 2, and 3. It's growing.
Because
what you're fighting is essentially a child. It's a baby.
It was a baby,
and
that of course it looked like a full grown man, but it was a baby. And yo, as you see the levels increasing, like a whole lot more shit starts happening. Like the attacks start to get bigger, and then more varied, and then just insane. When the shit reaches like level 10?
Sure, something like that. Yeah, it gets to a point that in story you gotta go. Like, you can't handle this.
Yeah, you can't. It gets to the point where you can't beat it.
Yeah, like everything will be destroyed. You have to run. And I went, oh my goodness. And I gotta say, this game is a very human game, despite the fact that none of the characters I've seen so far are human. And it really grapples with what is humanity, because there's these side stories with the machines, because you play androids, which the game is very clear there's a difference between you or the androids, who are also machines technically, and the actual machines. And some of these machines have what they perceive as feelings, and how it goes through that, and just between gender roles and even just personality. It gets some places. And obviously, I'm at a point in the game where something is up and the characters are starting to realize that. Or at least 9S, who is like kind of the heart of the game. Because 9S, who acts more human-like than 2B so far. Because 2B is very staunch in that she has to follow the rules. But she has those feelings as well. She just doesn't want to address them.
Right.
And literally every mission is just about you. I feel like the game... It's probably designed.
It's about like a dilemma. It's just like a constant dilemma that you're facing.
Yeah, like none of it is
going through the game. None of it is like clear cut. Like, saying like you must do this because this is the reason why you have to do this. No, it's like you're supposed to do this, but do you want to do this, or why do you have to do this? Like, you could go another way. You could do something different. You can go a different path. Like, there's always going to be that question, like, in your mind whenever you're going through this game, where it's like, well, I could probably try to do this a different way. And the game making you think that way is what's really interesting about it. Even though it's at its core, it's just a character action game. That's all it is. But the story is like very well done in that it raises all of these moral questions.
Yeah, dude. When I stopped playing the game, I got to a point where there's a side. I'm trying to be careful with my words. So there's a point where you have to. The characters have this main base, and there is a side quest that happens on the main base where you need to find someone else that went missing, and you find out what happened to that character. And it's another one of those choices of, oh, I can go and tell what happened, and I made a decision that I immediately became uncomfortable with. That I think either way, I would have felt, you can tell the character what happened or you can lie. It's another one of those scenarios. but the character's reaction to one of them was so extreme that it made me uncomfortable. That I went, I had to turn off. I turned off it was late. I had to go to sleep anyway, but it was just, nobody's winning here. Like this world, like there's no happiness.
Yeah,
like
it's never going to be easy.
No, it's very sad. This is a very sad game. I have to say that. And the tracks, I gotta say, the soundtrack does a very good job of. They all have that
emphasizing that, yeah,
yeah, and they're all different. Like, and I don't want to. I know we talked about the soundtrack more than a few times already, but I just really have to emphasize now that they all evoke very similar feelings. Maybe except for amusement level, but that's dark in its own way. That's still fucked up. But just all of it together, it's just awesome. And also, I think I've been playing too many post-apocalyptic games because I just have this like weird dread going through every experience I play now. Like it's a little too much, but yeah, this is honestly just a fantastic game. I heard some people did complain that it's not as deep as a character action game. Cause I was like, well, it's not really a character action game. It's an action RPG. It has elements of that. It really does, but it's not a character action game. I had to like understand that a couple days ago that it's an action RPG, and that's fine. It's great. You can still see that platinum touch. It's still all there.
I mean, the story is just still kind of blowing me away. I'm like,
yeah,
wow, this is a surprisingly deep story for a game of this type. You know?
Yeah, and I heard recently, and this is with the original Nier too. You shouldn't beat the game once because when you play it a second time, it really changes. It really changes. With Nier, because Frank, did you beat Nier? I can't remember if you did or not.
I did not. I think I got pretty close, but then I couldn't take it anymore.
It's fine. I won't get into too much, but in that game, there's 5 different endings. And the minute the second playthrough happens, you start discovering stuff that the game didn't tell you the first time. It could be a very similar playthrough, but it didn't tell you that on purpose. And it changes how you view every interaction. And I said, whoa, that's some next level stuff. And I hear that this game does similar stuff.
Have you gotten any of the other lesser endings yet?
I do not want to kill myself, which gets you an immediate ending. Because there's 2 endings you could get almost automatically.
Uh-huh.
One where you take out the OS chip, because the characters have these plug-in chips to make them work. And it's very similar to a computer deleting registry files or hardware components. You can just remove the OS and the character dies. Game's over. And there's another one where you can self-destruct on purpose and the game is over. But I was just I was so engrossed that I didn't want to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, depending on where you are, it's a pain in the ass to get your plugins. It's very Dark Souls-like in that if you die, you have one shot to grab all your stuff, all your plugins, and if you die again, you lose those, which can cost you.
I thought because like the game is all about like getting all the different endings that like you wouldn't be too harshly penalized if you got one of those other endings by like killing yourself.
No, I don't think. I feel the same way. I don't think that it will completely ruin the experience. I think you could just keep playing the game as you were.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt I didn't want to go back and get my shit. That's where I'm coming from it. So it's possible that it does work. It's very lenient. I just won't be. I can't answer that right now, just from me playing it. I mean, Frank, I don't know if you have anything to chime in on this part.
I don't know. I guess I just haven't felt as compelled as well to just kind of end my life. I wanted to experience the game for what it was, and maybe on playthrough 2 or 3, if it gets that far, then maybe I'll like experiment and see like, all right, let me do the black box thing, or let me take out the chip.
I feel like I want to say something, but like I know a little bit. Like I've heard things from other conversations about this game, but one of those endings, one of the not the cheaper ones that where you kill yourself, whatever, but one of like the final endings,
the main endings. Yeah,
you have to make a very important decision, and it's way more important and has way far-reaching consequences than you might initially anticipate.
I think I know where you heard that, but we could talk about that offline.
Yeah.
That's why it's found similar to where I looked up a Nier spoiler. These 3 spoiler videos by someone named Klemps on YouTube. Anyone should look him up, Klemps, where he really breaks down exactly what happens in these Nier endings. And there's one ending in Nier which is just like that. That your choice is very effective to the world, and you don't realize it immediately. So it does sound similar that they're going for similar things there. And even Drakengard 1 does something just like that.
Cool. So you guys, both of you, have not gotten like the first ending yet so far?
No. I've only played 10 hours so far. I am very willing to keep going in here. I feel like I need to just be in a certain mindset when I'm here now. Because you have to accept what it is. That there is just dread in the world.
You just have to get mentally prepared. Like, okay, I'm gonna witness some thought-provoking shit right now.
Well, I just, I will eventually get back to this game like sometime in 2019. So yeah, but I do intend to play this game and finish it. I mean, after I'm done with this. Well, not done, but after I can kind of curb this obsession.
You could just rig your drums to play Nier, and then you can witness the rest of the game.
If I could do that, if I wanted to do that, I would have already. But I know the danger of that.
Okay, and last thing I gotta say, I had that problem when I first started the game of, you play a game you like, but you haven't played it in so long that you need to remember how this works.
Yeah. And
it took me a nice hour just to remember certain things. Like I forgot that you could like freely shoot bullets and spin the camera around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a third person shooter. I forgot that feature was in the game. I just completely forgot. And I was like, okay, do some combos. Combos seem solid. Oh, these shooting guys are killing me. How do I shoot them? Oh shit. And I just got to this moment. I was like, that's right. That is a feature that the game teaches you.
Yeah.
The game doesn't teach you everything in the beginning. It takes its time. It really does take its time in showing you certain things. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say.
Cool, man. Well, glad you like it. And I'm glad you at least got to that part, because that just blew me away. That is the first boss battle I've ever encountered where that happened, where the boss evolved in your face. It's not like you beat the boss and then it's like, okay, next form with completely different pattern of attack, and it's just more difficult than the previous. No, this is blew me away. Blew me the fuck away. How the fuck do you do that? So
it's amazing.
That's clever programming. So nice. Well, thank you, and I'm glad you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to talk about a game that the only reason I was even able to play this game is because of the console it was on, because of the convenience of it. So I actually picked up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch.
Okay, look at that. That's a new game. That's not the other 2 games that should not be mentioned.
You're doing it, man. I'm real proud of you. I'm real proud of you. You can walk away.
But the only reason I was able to able to play it is because the Switch is, you can walk around the house with it. So So I pulled myself away from the drum set and from Persona and the PS4, and I lifted my Switch out of the dock and I took it to the living room and I started playing Mario Kart 8. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is basically not basically, because it's actually surprisingly has a lot more to offer than I thought. And it's not just like a direct port, and it has like more stuff now. But at its core, Mario Kart 8 is the same Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, including all of the DLC that was offered. So you get all of that comes with the game. So you get all the characters and all the new stages, and yeah, so that's it at its core. But now there's even more stuff that they've added to the deluxe version of this game. So the first and foremost is the inclusion of 2 new items. So they actually brought back the Boo from Mario Kart Wii.
Okay.
And what the Boo does is it steals your item. It's random, but like whichever item it steals from whoever's on the track. Mm-hmm. But if it happens to you, basically it steals the item in your inventory. So if you have like a shell ready to go or a banana or whatever, like, a lightning bolt, it can steal it and it gives it to the character that used it. So that's the first new item. The second new item is the feather, the famous feather from Super Mario World.
Oh, wow.
Jump.
Yes. So you can, as you can figure, you can actually take off with it, like without there being like a ramp. So you can get like a good head start, and then you'll hear like the and then you can actually, like, when you jump, you can actually like really like take off and glide for a little bit. And
okay.
it adds a little bit more depth with that particular item. But the thing is, I've only gotten that item once, and I've played all of the stages like twice. So I don't know if it's just a matter of, what place you're in or whatever, but it's definitely, to me, it seems like one of the better items in the game. Definitely could cheese with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's first and foremost. So secondly is the inclusion of, and I don't really like it, but it's the inclusion of smart steering, which I don't agree with. So basically what smart steering does is kind of like an easy mode for Mario Kart 8. Mm-hmm. So there are certain, but it's not too easy, but there are certain maneuvers or things that you do that will kind of land you in a bad place depending on like how you position yourself. So drifting is the biggest example of that. So say you're drifting around a corner, and unfortunately you're taking the corner too wide, and you're about to like slam into a wall, or you're about to go off the ledge. Now, under normal circumstances, you will either slam into the wall or go off the ledge. But with smart steering, it actually adjusts you so that doesn't happen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you could feel like a fucking, because I was doing like all this stuff, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm driving like really good, because there were certain things, there were certain points in certain stages where it's like a little tough to navigate because the turns might be too sharp. But right. I felt like I was like, wow, it's really good. But then it felt to me at times where like the game was kind of like taking control away from me, and you feel it instantly, and you're like, wait, what is this? Is it just me? So like the first 2 or 3 times, I'm like, oh, okay, it's probably like I guess I'm better than I thought. And then there was one point where it happened where I was drifting, and I know this point. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hit the wall, but I had to, or because I took this turn way too wide, and the game kind of like literally took my car and kind of like adjusted it, like almost not like teleporting, but you could see like it was a really big adjustment. Like, whoa, I don't think a human can do that. So I was like, what is happening? So I read up on this, and says, yes, the game has included smart steering, and it basically adjusts for you so that you pretty much drive like perfect. Like if you're ever going to make like that big of a mistake, like it'll like adjust you. So I'm like, no, like I don't want this. It doesn't feel natural. So you have the option to turn it off. So I did. And now things are fine. Things are better. So that's the second thing. Third thing that is new about this game is the battle mode is improved now. So that was a big issue with Mario Kart 8 when it came out for the Wii U, that the battle mode sucked ass, and it did. It was terrible. And
I didn't even touch it. I have that game, and I've never even experienced it.
The battle mode, yeah, it's awful. Don't do it. Don't do it on the Wii U. It's much better now. Much better now. Yes.
Can I just ask, like, what is actually so bad? I'm not too familiar with Mario Kart 8, so what's so bad about the original compared to Deluxe?
Okay, so the original battle mode was like,
you're just on like the normal tracks, weren't you?
Yeah, you basically had your 3 balloons, right? Like in all the other Mario Karts, but Correct. You were on the normal tracks, so you would never encounter each other to do battle.
What?
Like you were racing, sort of. It was in a battle stage setting, sort of, or battle stage mode, I should say. But you were like racing, but you weren't supposed to race, and you would never encounter each other.
They forgot how some way they forgot how to make battle mode. They forgot how
to like close in. They needed to like kind of close you in, but they didn't do that. Like they just said, we're gonna put you on the stages and just go to town. If you hit each other, balloons gone. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Wow. Okay. That sounds terrible.
So now in Deluxe, there are actual like arenas, proper
Right.
battle mode arenas.
Completely revamped, like new arenas now. So it feels more like a battle mode should.
Right.
And that's pretty much like, and simply put, that's the biggest change to the battle mode in this game in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So battle mode, great. Now it's actually fun, and now you actually do battle in an enclosed arena.
Is that online as well?
Yes, you can do that online.
Nice.
Yeah. So one of the last things that is new about this game is now you can use 2 items at the same time. So, well, not at the same time, but one after the other.
Oh, double dash style.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Basically. Yeah. So you can, like in other games, you kind of could technically do that too. I think it was Mario Kart DS or Mario Kart 7. I'm not sure. But in one of those games, you could actually, like, you only had one slot, but you get an item. And then if you held the item, then it would free up that slot so you can get another item. So that's cool. In this game, now it's like legit 2 slots that you have. So you get an item and you get another item and both slots fill up. And if you hold on to your first item, it still takes up that first slot, but the second item is there for you to be able to use as well. So I don't know for sure if you can switch between the 2. I don't think so, but I haven't tried. So,
okay.
So yeah, so that definitely adds a huge element of strategy to the game now, because, as far as depending on what place you're usually in or whatever items you get, then you can kind of like, really, it definitely changes the meta of the game for sure with the addition of another item that you can use right away.
And like if you were to have like a shell as your secondary item, like would that block other shells from hitting you?
So no. So basically, you have to use the first item in order to get to the second item. But again, that's where I'm saying I'm not sure if you can switch between the 2.
No. Because so what happens with the second item, like the one that you're not using, my assumption is that
it's just on reserve. It's just basically on reserve.
So it's not hanging behind you.
No. It's just on reserve. It's just taking up another slot.
Yeah, my thought was that the second item would kind of be like dragging behind you. And
no. Oh, so you would think like it's just like a banana and a shell? Like you're holding a banana and the shell is like, no.
It's like behind you or something, behind your cart, you're dragging it along.
Yeah, no. So basically, if you get 2 items, say you get a banana and a shell, right? The banana is your first item. You'll be the character will have the banana in their hands, but you're not actually using it until you hit the L button.
Okay.
To either hold it down, to drag it behind you, or to throw it in front of you, right? And then once you use that item, whether a shell hits it or you throw the item, then that's when you have access. Then the second item moves to the first item slot, and then it just repeats from there.
Okay.
So that's all it is to that. But the reason why I say it adds a lot of strategy is because you can actually really kind of it just with the whole I'm a very defensive player when it comes to that, because I'm usually up ahead. So all you get,
because the game is always out to screw you.
Oh, it fucks with you so bad. It is if you are behind third place for whatever reason,
yep,
you be prepared to fight. It is a fucking battle. From 4th to 10th is this fucking fight always. But you have to I would always have a banana ready to hold out behind me if a red shell's coming or a shell or something. Yeah. And I hate when you fucking get coins, because but just knowing that if you have again a banana and a shell, just knowing that you have a shell on reserve kind of makes you play a little more comfortably. Yeah, and that's just one aspect in which it kind of changes the way you play. But if you have a coin and then a shell, you might use that coin, but then you have to hold on to the shell just in case another shell comes at you. Or if you have a coin and a horn, you want to kind of like save those items because the coin like gives you a tiny speed boost, but then you want to really save the horn because you don't want to use the horn for a fucking red shell or a green shell. You want to use the horn for the blue shell. So there's kind of like a lot of thoughts that go through your mind with just the inclusion of the second item alone. It really changes the game, I feel. So I want to say I think that's about it. That's actually like really different with the game.
Purple
At
sparks.
its core, what's that?
Purple sparks, right? Those are new?
Oh, purple sparks. That's right. Purple sparks. Blue sparks, red sparks, purple sparks.
Bubble sparks.
Whoa, they have purple now? Wow. Mm-hmm. So it's even a faster drift? Or faster boost?
But the turn has to be you basically have to do it at the beginning of a super long turn. Like even before you hit that long turn, you have to do it a super long turn. You have to be so deep. Like I've accomplished it only one time.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. But again, there are not a lot of stages where the turns allow you to get to purple. But yeah, purple sparks really cool. I was like, whoa! And again, the speed boost is a little longer than the orange red spark. But yeah, I believe that is it at its core, or at least all the changes.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still fun as hell, and I definitely recommend it for people who either haven't played Mario Kart 8 or have played Mario Kart 8 but don't have all the DLC. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely a big way to jump into it. The Switch controls, they feel fine when I play with the Joy-Con. When I play with the Joy-Cons by themselves, they
like
feel
sideways.
Yeah, they feel okay, but it's just so small. The controls are like really small, so it's kind of like I'm like going for broke. Just acceleration all the time now. But at the same time, when I play with the Joy-Con grip, it's a lot better. It's a lot more manageable. Playing it with both Joy-Cons on the grip. So
okay,
yeah, Mario Kart. It's definitely a lot of fun. I just wish honestly that they would kind of give. Well, they kind of do, but I wish there was. It doesn't exactly make Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U obsolete, but because depending on how many controllers that you have, but. If you have all the Joy-Cons, you spend all the money, the $80 for the Joy-Con and the Pro controller, then you're good. Mm-hmm. Then you don't need Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U anymore. But
plus the Switch is portable and you could get potentially an impromptu like Mario Kart party going on or something.
Right. So that's the other thing. It's just like if you've invested like in the accessories for the Wii U and you have like the steering wheels and you have all the Wiimotes and you have like your gamepad as a controller as well, then you should probably you can keep Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, I guess. But the Switch is here now.
I heard the wheel for the Switch is like super tiny.
The wheel? They have a wheel?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh, that's awesome.
You just slap that Joy-Con in there and
I imagine. I can imagine it's like the size of like an apple, or something. Wow. Yeah, it's like the size of like a big apple. Like, it's like super small. So, but yeah, this game is real. It's always been a fantastic Mario Kart. I've always believed it's the best in the series, and it still holds true. It's fun as hell. It gave me a reason to pick up Mario Kart 8 again and play it, and yeah. Yeah, at its core, they kept everything. They added new stuff, and yeah, it's awesome.
Very important question. Mm-hmm. Do you have to unlock stuff, or is everything available from the get-go?
You know what? That was actually on my train of thought. So, okay, very good question. Thank you. So, yes and no. So
don't give me that bullshit, Frank. Yes and no.
Let me explain. So, yes, you have to unlock things. The only things you have to unlock are like all of the customization options. So like your carts, your wheels, and your gliders.
Okay, so like all the characters.
So that stuff you have to unlock. So all the characters are unlocked. Okay. All the stages are unlocked. Also, all the modes are unlocked too. So you have 200cc. You have all the way up to 200cc right off the bat.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
And also, so if you complete if you complete a Grand Prix on a higher difficulty, so let's say you complete a Grand Prix on 150cc, you get like 3 stars and a trophy, right? It actually now in the previous Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, it didn't count. Like you'd have to do it on all the difficulties, for you to get that completion. So you'd have to like get all the trophies and 3 stars on 50, 100, and 150. So now if you do it, like say you do it on 150, it counts for the previous difficulty. So you don't have to go through all that crap anymore.
Okay.
So that's another cool thing. So yes, you have to unlock the carts, the customization stuff, but basically that's giving you a reason to play the game. To actually play the game, because if they had all that stuff unlocked too, you literally would have no reason to play the game unless you had people over.
Yeah, I mean, you can like get used to the new tracks and all that stuff, or there's always the online feature as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. Again, the online, like the multiplayer, like I feel like they would have relied too much on the multiplayer if like they had you not unlock all of that stuff. So this gives you a reason to unlock that stuff, because again, you can use your own carts, your own customizable carts on whatever online you want or multiplayer or whatever. So it's just a matter of they didn't give you everything off the bat, and I thought it was a smart choice. So yeah, and yeah, all the characters are there, all the stages are there, all the modes are there, and yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
That's about it.
Yeah. Well, one thing I wanted to say, it seems that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has already sold 459,000 copies.
Yeah,
so
it's actually the fastest selling Mario Kart ever.
Yeah. Not only more than the original release, but with that, it seems that every 2 users on a Nintendo Switch has one.
Yeah.
So it seems like if you don't have it, your friend has it. That's just the rule with that. So
Switch owners are hungry, man. They need more games.
It's kind of dry for the Switch right now. So people are still playing Zelda. Of course, they should be, but people are jonesing for new games right now, and Mario Kart 8 was the biggest release this month.
Yo, everybody's sleeping on that Puyo Puyo Tetris, son. You got to get on that. You Switch people.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
I might for a puzzle game again. I need a distraction. I definitely need a distraction. And Mario Kart 8 was a welcome distraction. I have to say, it was good. It's a good game. It's still a great game. The stages are fantastic. The music is always good.
Yeah.
That Mount Wario music alone is just phenomenal. It's so genius. How do they what's you actually telling me that the music changes depending on the lap? What? So completely different tracks, but a remix. What the fuck? So yeah, it's a great game. I recommend it for any Switch user, but if you're a Switch user, you probably have it. so I hope you guys enjoy that. But yeah, that's it. So that's it for what we've been playing, and we are going to go into headlines right now. And before we do, go to innercitygeeks.com so you can follow along with us. And Khalik is going to take us through headlines again. So go ahead, man.
All right. And I want to start us off with this very interesting story about Smash. So there's a player, Adam Lindgren, Automata, considered one of the 5 gods of Smash. Basically, the 5 best players. He recently dropped out of a DreamHack Austin event where they're playing Smash Melee because his controller malfunctioned. Now, normally, about fighting games, you would hear, oh, this is something very easy to replace. Just get a new one. It's not that simple. Apparently, with GameCube controllers, certain GameCube controllers have this malfunction that makes it easier to perform certain moves inside Smash Brothers.
Yep.
And from reading this article posted by Kotaku, there are only it's 1%, a little more than 1% of the controls have it. So you're better off buying 50 controllers, and at least one of them may have that issue. It's not something that could be easily replicated. So there are certain tools, there's certain controllers that are modded that allow it to do something similar to that malfunction. But Adam here seems that he wasn't able to be satisfied with that. It just dropped out of the tournament. He said he's very disappointed, and hopefully he can reach the next event, but he's not really sure yet until he finds another controller. This is the first, I gotta say, I've ever heard of this situation. I mean, I'm not overly too deep into the Smash universe, Smash community.
Yeah, again, like, he had to drop out because his controller, it's not that it was broken, but it wasn't broken in the specific way that he needed it to. Like, what is this game? What is going on? So
basically, the whole problem is dashing in the games. So a backdash, or a dash back as they call it, this is a very specific way the input goes through the GameCube controller. And because of this malfunction, it makes it easier to perform it. And there's ways that competitive players test the controller out to see if it's capable. And those controllers are the most useful, which means that it's a very unlikely way to play this game, that you have to use original GameCube controllers, which are faulty. That helps you improve. That's insane to me. It sounds. I mean, I'm not knocking anyone in the Smash community, but it just seems like a very unlikely circumstance, or very expensive, especially when you want to go how far deep you want to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really know what to say here. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel.
I think it's bizarre. Like, I never heard of this shit before. Like, I heard about like wave dashing and all this other crazy stuff that people there's, I guess, some reason why people stick with Melee specifically, even though there's new Smash Brothers games. But like, I didn't know how crazy it got, and I don't know. Like, I'm afraid like this is only like the tip of the iceberg. I don't know what other craziness Melee has, but yeah, this was an eye-opening moment for me.
Yeah, man. Frank, I mean, just coming from just a fighting game, like, have you ever seen anything like this before?
Yeah, well, Melee is that game where it's like it's super broken, and they have accepted its brokenness as the norm. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you're listening to this and it's like, so your controller, so basically because your controller malfunctioned, the malfunction canceled out the other malfunction, so it made your controller unusable because the original malfunction wasn't there, and that prevented you from doing malfunctioning things in the game. How does that sound to you? Really, I mean, Melee has always been known for just being super broken, and people take advantage of that, and they've come out with some amazing like techs out of that, but it's just like, these are all glitches, like these are all not supposed to be possible. But yeah,
it's like they're implementing like almost like these speedrunning type exploits to play the game
right,
like at this competitive level, and in order to play at that level, you have to like literally do these weird exploits all the time.
Yep.
And here's what's so odd. Even the article gets into it. There is some kind of fan patch, but someone fixed this issue for the game. I guess you have to play a modded version of Melee, but it gets rid of this problem. It's a code that you can just change. However,
but of course people will say like, oh no, this isn't Melee. Melee's not supposed to be like this. This sucks.
It's not pure.
It's not pure, but this is a very unique exploit that most people don't have the luxury to be able to find. I know that we get very deep into fighting games, and there's certain things in type of fighting games that you understand when you play them for a certain amount of time. But this seems so unique and particular that I can only speak as someone outside of the community. They should just play the version of the game that fixes that. Because eventually, I feel with Melee, everyone will have this problem. Because GameCube controls are just not being produced anymore. It can't happen.
Like, at some point, you got to think about the longevity of the game and the scene and all that. Like, is this realistic to play the game in this way? Or to rely on these, like, specifically malfunctioning controllers? It's weird.
Well, I mean, this whole thing is just like, come on, guys, like let's just thank our lucky stars that this game is still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this day and age, this game came out in like 2001.
Yeah.
You know, it's 16 years old. Like, you know, let's say, okay, I understand like some Street Fighter games are still relevant even now, but like, come on, like, let's just, if you are that good at Smash, and he is, he's super good at Smash, at Melee. If you're that good at Smash, you know, you can probably, you either would have a controller on reserve that does the same thing, or you can handle the playing with a normal controller. You know, people can still do like the wave dashing and the L canceling, Z canceling, you know, edge dropping, and God, so many.
Well, I think there was something in the article too, talking about how even though he had at one point one of those specifically malfunctioning controllers, like if apparently it can, I guess, get fixed or like stop malfunctioning in the right way or something. So like it kind of drops in and out of like usefulness for this player.
Yeah, then that's what I was saying before. It's like it's a malfunction of a malfunction.
Yeah.
So that's the reason, because your controller isn't malfunctioning properly. That, like, come on. Like, I don't know. To me, I just say, like, I think, like, I don't know, maybe he was scared.
Well,
like, if he's, like, honestly, if he's that good, and he is that good, but if he's that good, he wouldn't let that faze him.
I mean, I'm going to assume that he's that good if he's the alleged one of the 5 best players ever of Smash Melee. So it's a very unique situation, a very strange, odd situation that I hope one day, I don't think there'll ever be a proper fix that the Smash community is going to be happy with. What's going to happen is these controls are going to fail, and they're going to have to start using these modded controllers. But also, if we're talking about that, how long is this game is going to be that like popular to be played for that long?
I mean, it's still featured at Evo, and they cry pretty hard when it's not, you know, when there's like a chance that it might not be at Evo. That's why they have 2 Smash Brothers games. But, and I mean, you know, that's why and it's like, you know, the hate that Brawl and even the Wii U version get just because it's not Melee, is not broken.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, God.
Yeah, at some point it just sounds like, oh, they can't let go of the past. Like move on to the next thing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, there have been 2 games, like 2 sequels to this game that is so revered, and you know, great. That's great. It's so revered, but we can move on and we can adapt to new things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the issue with that is more inside the community, how they feel about the game. Where Melee, Sakurai felt that he failed because there's things in the way that game is designed that's closer to a competitive fighting game that he doesn't necessarily like. And that's why he put things like tripping in the Brawl, which is a feature is universally disliked.
Yeah.
But that was one of his ways of getting around that, because he doesn't want Smash Brothers to be a competitive fighting experience. It's almost like a party game that you could play with competitive in some form, but that's not really the design of the game.
I mean, that's definitely a discussion for another day, because there's always been like that debate whether is Smash a fighting game or not.
Right.
You know, and there are definitely points to either side, you know, saying like, well, yeah, it is because, or no, it's not because, and pretty valid points, but that debate will always be there.
Right,
you know?
right. I just feel that over time, especially with Smash 4 being so popular, generally more popular than we Brawl, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
That I am just curious at how long Melee can last as being this game that is so great. I mean, eventually you have to stop. People stop playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at some point. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
It just happens. But I mean, I think we're in a position where we're not as deep into that community the same way, so we're always going to look at it a bit differently.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we'll move on, and I guess we're still in, or maybe start again into the fighting game corner of the week. I don't know how to word it this week. I will let you decide at the end of that debate. Yeah, Street Fighter V has a second beta coming out. This beta will be running on PS4 and PC on May 11th to the 14th. And it's just going to be an update to the Capcom Fighting Network and some of the changes, including improvements to the match, lobbying. I feel like I'm not getting a word properly at the moment. Matchmaking.
Matchmaking.
Matchmaking. Testing out the rage quit penalty system. A history, a timeline, if you will. So you see exactly what's going on, like how a person played. Adding an in-game announcer voice. And anything that you do during the beta will be removed once the beta is gone. Also, and in this article, it also says that the mystery character will be gone as well. So, seems like the beta it seems like there might be an announcement for the next character, which, I mean, we seem to know it's going to be Ed. That's who's to say? We can't really sure, but signs point to that. I don't know if you guys are interested in getting into this beta, and I know we're still playing Street Fighter V on some level. Alex, like how you feel about some of the changes coming?
I mean, this is pretty much exactly the same beta that they rolled out, a couple weeks ago. It's got all the same features and stuff. It's just them, I don't know, reiterating it. I don't know if they made any further changes to the network code and all that, but at least now it's available for PS4. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed because, like, yo, why is it taking so long to get this new update out? Like, you're gonna run a second beta test? What's going on here, guys? Like, that's
kind of my main complaint.
Yeah.
Even though I've kind of been out of the scene for a bit, but like they promised us the update in April. It's May now.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently we're going to have to wait like another month. Not like a whole month, but like another 20 something days.
Potentially, yeah. Like if they're going to run this beta and wait for the results of this beta to implement into the new patch, it's like how much longer are we going to have to wait?
Yeah. Yeah, sadly, it might be another 20 to 30 days before we actually get that April update.
Yeah, I think
the update was supposed to be in March, the end of March originally, and now it's going to be the end of May, possibly.
Yeah, the only thing that makes this even like remotely, like I guess, appetizing is that they're actually giving us access to the new character early in this beta. But like, come on, guys, get your stuff together, man.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a world-class fighting game, period. Like, oh man,
it's supposed to be the best of the best.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of been the thing with this, at least this generation with Capcom, at least especially Street Fighter V. It's very confusing and how the data information is being coming out, or what Capcom's doing, what's their business plan. Yeah, it's a lot of we shall see, and I hate to say that each time because you just don't know if this thing, what's going to happen afterwards. When is the update coming out? A lot of information is still unknown, and we will update you when it happens.
Yep.
So, yeah, next up, there's a couple releases announced. Well, the first one, the big one, is Call of Duty World War II, which was leaked out a little while ago, but on Monday, there's been some information coming out. Just showed you a little reveal trailer revealing that this game will be taking place during World War II. And we've had some more information come out since then. It's going to be following like the first infantry division. Predominantly the main character, Private Ron Red Daniels. And it's just going to be going through the Atlantic Theater between 1944 and 1945. And the game officially comes out November 3rd. There's going to be a beta sometime in between there, but it doesn't say when, but you will be able to play it if you pre-order it. You pre-order the Call of Duty World War II. So yeah, that's happening. I haven't bought a Call of Duty game literally in years. So I it's funny now that going back to this, I guess the Infinite Warfare stuff didn't work out. That Call of Duty started going into the sci-fi. Maybe people didn't like it. Maybe it's series burnout. I don't know. I mean, on that level, do you guys think that this could be the game that could swing Call of Duty back to its former glory?
I have no idea.
Dude.
What's up?
Bro.
What's going on?
Talk to me.
Dude. Bro.
What's up, Chad?
Bro.
What's going on?
Bro.
What's up, Brecken? What's going on, bro?
Bro. I don't know for sure. I just wanted to say dude, bro, because you guys get it right.
Yeah, no.
Gamers should get that.
No, it's
sure.
It's the one. It's the one. It actually, you saying that reminds me of a quick tangent when they were filming one of the Fast movies, and they asked, "What's your favorite games?" And everybody said Call of Duty,
bro.
Except like Paul Walker and Tyrese. So it's like, yeah, you know, it's that game. You know, it's the popular game, and you know, to mainstream. It's not always my favorite series. I have other first person shooters that I'm fans of. I know particularly Frank is a big fan of them in general, but I'm a huge fan. Huge. I love them. Yeah. But I do find, I will say, just on a discussion standpoint, I find it interesting that we're going back to the brown shooter, if you will. Something that we were played with previous generation. That now, I mean, if we've seen this generation, we've gone into more colorful things like Overwatch and Destiny are some of the greatest examples of that. And now they're going back to their laurels and what works, what seems to have always worked until it didn't work anymore. So
it's kind of crazy. Logically, you want to say this is kind of like they're writing the coattails of what Battlefield 1 did, and that they went back in time. But also, it was a couple years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago where they started this. But like now, the Call of Duty games are on a 3-year cycle because they've got 3 different studios working on each of the games now. So I'm like, how far along did they know? Like, you might want to say that like 3 years ago they were already working on this. I don't know how fast of a turnaround this was, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy that they're going back to World War II so quickly. But I do know, like, the Sledgehammer games, I think their last game was the Advanced Warfare with like Kevin Spacey and Troy Baker and all that. And that was, from what I heard, it was a well-received one of those. And I did want to play that game, but it never hit the price point that I wanted to buy it at just to experience the campaign, which is $20. Every time I saw that game on sale, it was like $30. And I'm like, come on, give me $10 more. Just go down $10 more and I'll play that game. But it never happened.
Nah, man, those games are always going to stay a certain price. Like, look at the store. If you go online right now and try to download it, like, all those games like $40, $50.
Yeah.
Still, like, it's still kind of ridiculous. And I got to say, at least on the Battlefield 1 aspect, I think that's the exception to the rule because it took place in World War One, which is something we do not see a lot of in video games.
Well, and just in the aspect of, like, they shifted from being, like, modern day high tech, and now we're going back in time again.
Okay, yeah, in that aspect, that is strange because they've had to notice for some time.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a hearing, but there's like Stranger Things in fiction. I mean, there's a very famous thing in comic books where there's this team, just to be a little nerdy, there's a team called the Doom Patrol, which is this team of weirdos and mutant freaks led by a guy in a wheelchair that people don't understand. And 3 months later, there's a team called the X-Men about these mutant freaks led by a guy in a wheelchair.
Okay.
And like, how did that happen? No one actually knows how that worked out. It's just very odd.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's a situation where both teams discussed it. Maybe they heard something. I mean, some of this is hearsay.
Maybe they're spying on each other.
It's one that could happen.
Call of Duty teams spying on and seeing what the Battlefield guys are up to. And it's like back and forth and just industrial espionage and shit.
We're officially having forum talk right now. So this is like a little too much speculation. But hey, you know, if it works out, we'll see what happens. We'll get more Do Bros checking this out on November 3rd.
Bro.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of fuck boys. All right, moving on.
Oh man.
Moving on.
And that segue.
I think I broke Frank. I broke it.
You said it.
I broke it. It's fine. It's fine.
Bro.
Next game announced. Darksiders 3. It was leaked on Amazon until IGN released the teaser trailer, which was given to them by THQ Nordic. And it seems to be, the main character seems to be Fury, the third horseman of the apocalypse, who will be fighting the 7 deadly sins. Now, these Darksiders games all take place at the same time. So they're not really sequels to each other. It's really odd, especially for a video game series, to go through that. So this takes place at the same time Darksiders 1 and 2 happens. And they'll eventually tie in, because they all end in a way that they'll all meet up at the end. And Fury seems to be a very interesting design, very 90s inspired, but 90s comic book inspired. And yeah, I mean, I've played the Darksiders games. I'm a fan of the first one, not so much the second one, but it was okay. and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys like see the trailer? How'd you feel about it?
I like the concept very much,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of want to see more.
Yeah, I didn't happen to catch a trailer, but like I had problems with the first Darksiders, so I never even bothered with 2.
I'm just curious. Like, what was the issue?
Just occasional like mechanical issues, and I felt like the game at some points didn't do a good job of telling you what you were supposed to do. Like, I can share an anecdote with you if you'd like.
Please.
So you remember somewhat early on in the game, there's like part where you find your horse.
Yes.
And you're in this desert area, and then you have to fight these like big ass sand snakes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So up until that point, I had been using like the glaive as like my range weapon, and then in that area, I think you got a handgun or whatever. I was like, I don't really feel like using the gun, so I switched back to the glaive, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna use this, and then I'm fighting this thing, this big sandworm, and it's like the mid boss. It's like the training mode for the other big boss, and I'm like fighting this thing, and I got this, I forget what he's called, but the Mark Hamill character is like screaming at me like, hey, you're supposed to do this thing, like hit him in the face with the thing. And I'm like, I'm doing the thing. I'm throwing the glaive at his face, but it's not doing anything. And I'm like getting stuck in that thing. And like, I felt like the game should have taken that into account, or maybe just explicitly said like, yo, use the gun. Cause once I finally figured it out and I went on some forum and like, hey, use the gun on this thing. I'm like, really? It's that specific? I got to use the gun to first like stun him and then I can do damage? Like, this is silly. But yeah, like I spent like half an hour on that thing, and then I got to the point where I kind of broke the encounter because I somehow got that snake to encircle me completely. Like, it was eating its own tail, and I couldn't get out of it, and I had to restart the game. And I was like, okay, this is great. I also had problems with the spider boss as well, but like I don't want to get into that. But yeah, there's a couple mechanical issues that I had throughout the game. I was like, the game, you got to do a better job of communicating this to me.
Yeah, I got to say, from my experience of the first game, especially the spider boss, I had a problem with that. Certain issues with traversal, I was confused as to what I should do now.
Mm-hmm.
Was a big issue for me, where I looked on forums twice, because I was just confused. And the second game does some to help you with that. I think it's a little better, but there's things in there that are very similar to the first one.
Okay.
That first game gets compared to Zelda a lot, which I can see that.
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
It's a similar type. Yeah, a Zelda on rails, if you will, in a certain way. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like the franchise. I think the concept of it, I mean, as Frank said before, is more interesting than the games itself. And I feel the games never does a great job of delving into that lore properly. Darksiders 2 delves into it a bit more, but it doesn't really contradict anything that happens in the first game. And some of it's just a little too nonsensical. So I was like, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'll check it out eventually. I mean, I want to see some gameplay, how the game looks first before I say anything else.
Yeah.
And so currently it has a placeholder date of December 31st, 2018. That ain't coming out that day. I don't think this game is coming out till 2019 at the earliest.
You think?
I thought maybe like this year.
Like, yeah, like you don't know how much time they've put into it already. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'll find out more at E3 or something, but
hey, man,
I'll let you guys know.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Next up, there is the first DLC pack for Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god, I'm so excited, man. I want to play. This DLC is going to be fantastic.
Dude,
yeah, it looks bananas, yo.
This DLC is
never in my life have I been excited for DLC. This is ridiculous.
I gotta say, this is some really interesting stuff. So, there's 3 things coming in this first DLC pack. The first thing is that Breath of the Wild is getting a hard mode, which will elevate the grades of monsters. Yep. So red bokoblins will become blue bokoblins, and if there was and it will upgrade certain enemies that didn't have a higher grade to a higher point that you didn't see in the previous base game.
Gold Lionels.
Yeah.
Man, I really wish I knew what you guys are talking about. And also those enemies can now regenerate health. So you have to kill them faster and quicker. So that's cool. So to help people out a little bit, they'll be adding these balloons in the sky that'll have like treasure that you'll get if you beat the strong enemies guarding it. So that's pretty cool. The second one is Heroes Path mode, which the short of it is it adds pedometer to the game. It shows you how many steps that the character has taken up to the past 200 hours. So if you've been playing the game and you download the DLC pack, it'll keep track of all the steps you've taken so far, as long as you haven't played the game longer than 200 hours.
Well, not just your steps. It actually traces where you've been on the map in the past 200 hours, so you can see.
And that's super important.
It's so good. Oh my god! Like I didn't know I needed that until I saw it.
Yeah.
Like holy shit! Because I'm so glad it's like the past 200 hours, because that sounds insane. But I've put.
I'm pretty sure people can do that easily.
Yeah.
Like they just lose themselves.
But still, like at this point, most people have put in like a lot of hours in that game, so it's good that it goes back that far. But yeah, it's helpful to see like where you have not been yet on the map, just at a glance. So that's cool.
Yeah, man. That's for an open world game, especially I can imagine with Zelda. I mean, that's a necessary feature. So like it eliminates backtracking a bit. I just wonder like how complicated the map actually looks when you look at it. Look at like your exact path.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious like how like is it great? Like they allow you a certain point, like it's a grade where it stops, or just show you exactly where you went from the first second.
I think it's just like the first thing. Yeah, because I saw a screenshot. There was another article, and that's not in this article, but there was a screenshot floating around that showed like the entire map, like all the way zoomed out, and it had just like a single thin line, just like tracing about like where you were and how you traveled throughout the world.
Oh, okay. All right, that answers that question. I guess I was meaning on the point that if you could track it up to, all right, let's do the last 2 hours. You know what I mean?
That I don't know. Like I don't know if you can narrow it down. That'd be cool if you could too.
Yeah. So in the last part of the DLC, we'll be introducing a mode called Trial of the Sword, previously known as the Cave of Trials, where Link starts off with no weapons or any armor in a room full of enemies, and it's basically this survival mode, or this trial mode, where you keep going to the next area, and it's about 45 rooms. And when you finally get through it, it says that the true power of the Master Sword will awaken. It will always be in its glowing, powered up state. So some people are assuming that the Master Sword will be unbreakable when that happens.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot. I'm just so surprised Nintendo's obviously they're putting a lot of work into this game, but there's some. This seems really cool. I mean, just so far. I mean, how you guys are feeling?
I'm fucking hyped. This is exciting. I was excited even before, like when I first started playing Breath of the Wild, and then I found out that there was going to be DLC for this game. I'm like, yeah, sign me up, because this game is amazing. And if they're gonna do more amazing things with the DLC, just like give it to me.
I'm already down.
In my face.
I'm already down for this. So that's no brainer. No brainer. Especially that I need that. Like, I need that so bad.
And there's going to be some new like armor sets too. And I saw somebody comment like, yo, the first thing I do when I get this DLC, I'm going to beat Ganon with the Tingle outfit. And I'm like,
hold on. I wanted to get to that. I wanted to get to that. Yeah, so there's a few more things here. Well, before that, they got this travel medallion, which essentially works as a waypoint you can always teleport back to.
That's cool, Set your own fast travel point.
Yeah, which is really dope. That you could just like wherever you're standing, you just place it there. You just come back anywhere.
Not that it's been like a super big problem, because there are plenty of fast travel points. But yeah, I don't know. It's more options. Yeah,
and a Korok mask, where should help you find Korok locations in the game, which I hear are about 900.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, and so when you equip it to Master Shake Lane, you know that there's a Korok nearby.
Nice.
And then there's some new pieces of equipment. Yes, including a Tingle outfit, which I gotta say actually looks like the coolest outfit in the game.
It's pretty good.
Link looks jacked. Like he looks like he's about to beat something up. Like that Midna, Majora's Mask costume, and a Phantom costume. Yeah, it seems pretty cool. Oh, it's also dual audios being added to the game. which people have been asking for. So
the different language options. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you seem like you won't be able to change the subtitles of the game, which language or region you buy it in, but you will be able to change the audio being said, which is really cool. Some people want that. Some people say that certain languages sound better.
Yeah, because the English VO isn't the best.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even from the beginning, if you look at just some of the trailers of the English trailer and the Japanese trailer, you can tell the voice acting is different. Like some of it showed more. Well, people said it showed more emotion, and even I was able to see that there's a difference. There's an obvious difference there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it also announced that the next add-on will be a new dungeon and some more story content coming. So it's a lot. That is a lot announced, a lot coming, and it seems like not just you guys, but everyone's pretty excited about it.
Breath of the Wild is that game, man.
Sure is.
Yeah. Frank, when are you going back? When you done?
When I'm finished.
Godspeed.
My only dilemma is like I don't know if I want to buy the DLC on the Wii U. Like I kind of want to just wait until I get the Switch version and then fully delve into the DLC there. I'm at a crossroads, guys. I'm at a crossroads.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know, because like we're about to talk. I think we're actually about to get into the reason why is because I don't know when Nintendo is going to do the Switch refresh, the hardware refresh. Like, are they going to redesign it and all that? But yeah, that's part of it. Like, I'm not 100% in love with the current state of the Switch hardware, and I feel like it eventually is going to happen. Like, they're going to improve it, like within the next year or two. And I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna miss out on it if I pull the trigger now.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you actually you link to our next upcoming article, which I'll just get into because I want to talk about how it relates to the Switch in a funny way. So Nintendo has announced the new 2DS XL coming out July 28th in the US. It's going to be priced at $150 and currently has a black and turquoise color scheme where the main frame is black and some of the buttons are turquoise. So far, it seems to be it's just a 3DS without the 3D feature, but it's also adding. It actually comes with an AC adapter this time.
Huh? Thank God.
Yeah, and a micro SD card slot. So that's really cool. It's very interesting. Oh, I have to say that Japan is also getting one in, I believe, white and orange, and there's a Europe one coming, but it's not exactly announced when. This is basically saying that 3D is dead. That's what I take from it.
I mean, it's kind of been dead. Like a lot of the more recent like Nintendo 3DS games have not supported it. Like Pokemon Sun and Moon did not support 3D.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, this has been coming for a while. It makes sense. It's probably cheaper. I guarantee it's cheaper just to do. Glasses-free 3D never caught on. Not even just with Nintendo, but even with TVs. That is just something that is probably a fad, and it just wore out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I would have been interested in this if I didn't already have a 3DS XL, which would have been cool. But hey, there's certain games that I don't know how they're still playable, like Super Mario World 3, Super Mario Land 3D, which uses the stereoscopic 3D.
Utilizes the 3D.
Yeah, like, you need it to beat that game.
Yeah,
because there's some stuff in there that I imagine it's possible, but it just won't make sense.
It's possible, but there's some of the platforming it'll be very confusing if you don't use the 3D.
Yeah, because I always keep my 3D off when I play my 3DS because I feel like it's a waste. Even if a game has a feature, I just don't like using it. But that was one of the games where I had to turn it on. And I'm glad I did, but it was annoying that it just happens to be there. So yeah, I imagine there's not going to be no change to those old games. But yeah, you're talking about the Switch. Especially, I can see where Alex is coming from. Where this is a point where, obviously, they're going to some changes in terms of hardware. I also recently heard, and this is not an article we have listed here, that there's speculation that there will be a Switch without a dock coming out soon.
Interesting.
Yeah, and only due to, I think Kirishima had a one-off line about selling the Switch just as itself, and not necessarily docking to any type of outside external device. So it's quite interesting to know what exactly Nintendo's up to here. I think, at least on the 2DS side, this is, I think some people will be confused because they don't know if there's a difference between 2DS and 3DS.
Yeah,
because I could get. I mean, we know, but we're a bit in the know. We're very particular in our interests, and outside that's just strange. Also, how many people are still buying the 3DS new? I mean, I can imagine. I'm not saying it's still not popular. Obviously, it is, but at some level, it is dying out. And then, I mean, we have to find out what's going to happen now with the Switch, and like how are they going to still be doing a handheld console, or just migrating to the Switch?
Yeah, the Switch is both. So it's like, maybe.
I think it's just Nintendo typically just hedging their bets. Like they said the same thing when the DS launched. Like, yeah, the Game Boy line is not going anywhere. They're going to coexist, side by side. But the DS took off, and they're like, okay, we don't need the Game Boy anymore. We don't need that Game Boy safety net, so we can get rid of it. So I think they're waiting until like the Switch like just completely takes off, like a rocket ship, and then they can let loose the 3DS. Yeah,
that's a shame.
Did you guys hear this? And this is. I mean, some of this we didn't link is because I think it's better to just talk about it. That some of these Nintendo Switches, the demand was so high that they used emergency shipped a bunch of Switches. To regions.
I saw that. Yeah, they shipped them on airplanes. They pretty much overnight shipped them on planes to these regions because the Switch. Yeah, because there were a bunch of orders for the Switch and they couldn't fulfill them, or they could the only way they could fulfill them in a timely manner was to overnight them on planes. So I did hear about that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think they'll still be very careful with the Switch, a little too careful. And I get this is Nintendo, this is how they do things, but this seems to be so far it's a breakaway success. And
Zelda having Zelda as a launch title helped a great deal. Like if they had no launch titles, then the Switch probably would not have been as successul. People probably would have been anticipating Zelda, but
that was a hell of a launch title.
That was pretty much what made the Switch so popular now. Like as far as all the sales.
Yeah, that happens to be a game which I can only. There's not too many games I could compare to it just in terms of what it means. Like maybe the original Final Fantasy, which was a make or break game for Squaresoft at that time. And Zelda Breath of the Wild seems to be the make or break game for the Wii U, or the Switch in the Wii U.
Again, they sold more games than they did consoles for that game.
That is amazing. That's still amazing. And I think there's a stat even in this article that Zelda Breath of the Wild almost sold 3 million copies so far.
Jeez.
Which is almost eclipsing twice the number of Nintendo Switches, which is just insane. But hey, Nintendo, they're pretty smart in what they're smart. It's always, I wouldn't say prudent. They're very clever in how they're doing this. Also, they recently announced that there will not be they will still be doing Nintendo Directs for E3. There was some speculation on that this year. If they would actually have a panel, or just like Sony and Microsoft. But no, they're still sticking to something that they feel works as the Directs, which is a very controlled way of doing that. I feel like some of those Wii presentations didn't go so well, and they know it now. I think it was Mario Music. Wii Music is the one I always remember, which is just kind of like,
Yo, we got Robbie drums, guys. Look how sick it is.
Nah, not at all. That did not work.
Nah. Yeah. So, and with that, we are done with the headlines of this week.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. That was a good amount of news this week.
Yeah.
So, we're going to move into new and upcoming releases, and Alex is going to take us through what we can look forward to. So, go ahead.
Yeah. So, for this week, the week of May 2nd, first up, we've got Nog. I think I'm saying that correctly. It's spelled Gnog.
Gnog.
That is out for the PlayStation 4. We've also got Tumbleseed for the PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Portal Knights is out for the PlayStation 4. And we've got some new DLC this week, one for Nier Automata I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna do it. It's called 3C3C1D1194400927. That is the name of the DLC for Nier Automata.
That looks like an error code. When I first saw it, I thought that was fake.
I thought it was a serial number.
That is available for PlayStation 4 and PC. And then we also got DLC for Neo, Dragon of the North for PlayStation 4.
Still got to play Neo. So I get to that one day.
Mm-hmm. Just add it onto the backlog.
It's too much.
We've also got Arcade Archives Neo Geo Last Resort for the PlayStation 4. Super Rude Bear Resurrection for the PlayStation 4. Flat Out 4 Total Insanity for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Arcade Archives Neo Geo A Samurai Showdown for the Xbox One. And Arcade Archives Neo Geo Blazing Star for the Switch. We've also got Planet Base for the Xbox One, Citadel, the Legends Trilogy for the Wii U, Infinite Golf for the 3DS, and 15 for the Wii U. We've also got a couple of PC exclusive stuff this week. First up is Extreme G2, which is an old-ass like Wipeout-like game that was on consoles before.
I remember that game.
Yeah, I played that game.
Was that PS1?
Probably.
Or 64.
I played it on 64. I don't know if
I played it on 64 as well, I remember, actually, yeah.
Yeah. It's like Wipeout, but with motorcycles.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. And we've also got Shattered Steel for the PC, which is notable because it is the very first BioWare game. Except instead of it being an RPG, as you might expect, it's like a mech shooter, I think. It's a departure from them, for sure, but it is their very first game, and it is available like now on modern like PC platforms. We've also got a couple of Friday releases this week as well. I know I've said this game in the past, but for real, this game is coming out. It is Dreamfall Chapters for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I know they had sets. I kickstarted this game, and they had put out an update because there was a March release date in the past, and they never updated people on it. And they're like, "Oh yeah, this date came by. We never shipped the game. Our bad. This is the real release date." So yeah, it's out this week. Also out this week is Prey for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. I know that's a very hotly anticipated game for a lot of people. And also for Friday, we've got World to the West for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Wii U, and the PC. And again, it is the beginning of another month, so we've got new games and stuff that you can get for your various gaming subscriptions. First of all, we've got PlayStation Plus for May 2017. For the PlayStation 4, you can get Tales from the Borderlands and Abzu. Those are just like two fucking awesome bangers right there. Some of my favorite games from like that I've played recently. Abzu, oh my god, Abzu has my heart. It does. For PlayStation 3, you can get Blood Knights and Port Royale 3 Pirates and Merchants. And then for the two Vita games, you can get Laser Disco Defenders, which is also cross-buy with PlayStation 4. And then also for the Vita, Type Rider, also cross-buy with PlayStation 4. On the Xbox side, for your games with gold, for May 2017, you can get Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams Director's Cut for the Xbox One. You can grab that anytime from May 1st through the 31st. And then also for the Xbox One, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. You can grab that from May 16th through the June 15th. And then for the 360 stuff, or 360 and Xbox One, because they work on both, you get Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. You can get that from May 1st through the 15th. And then also Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. You can get that from May 16th through the 31st. And that will do it for our new releases and stuff for the week.
Awesome. Thank you. And that means we are done with this episode. So before we officially go, we would like you to always just go visit InnerCityGeeks.com. It's where you should be, and it's where we are, because it's where we have a bunch of stuff regarding everything geek. You can view and or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and it's Good Games. So you just type up Good Games and then just look for our logo, the red logo with the white controller and the white Good Games. And a few of our more recent episodes are up there, and you can listen to them on YouTube as well. And yeah, that would help us out a great deal if you subscribe to us.
Yeah, we got all links and everything in the show notes too, in case you want to click on that easier.
Yeah, and people, it's definitely a lot easier to just go right to YouTube and bam, there it is. So yeah, and you can listen to us on iTunes, where you can leave us a review. It's the best thing that you can do for us. So just let us know what you think about the show, whether you like it, whether you don't like it. Just let us know how we're doing. You can basically listen to us where all podcasts are available, and we're also available to be listened to on TuneIn if you happen to be going down that road. And I also want to encourage everyone to click on the Amazon banner on the right-hand side of the InnerCityGeeks.com page, because when you do that, it'll take you to Amazon, and then you can go ahead and buy stuff from there. And because you click that link, whenever you do buy stuff, some of that will come back towards us. So we can provide more show and more content just for you. You can reach us on all the social media, mainly Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can reach, it's all at Inner City Geeks. The Twitter for this show is at Good Game Podcast. And you can also email us at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com. And we actually pay attention to our email, so go ahead and feel free to do so. And yeah, we'll respond fairly quickly. So, and besides that I believe is about it, gentlemen. Thank you so much for doing this, and thank you all for listening and leaving. As always, we say good games, everybody.
Good games.
Good games.